A bustling week for retail earnings forecasted a more cautious consumer in the months ahead. Here's Seana Smith with a roundup of the latest. Seana.
All right, Inez, well, in the face of high inflation, there's been lots of focus here on the consumer, where they are spending, where they're not spending. They're spending on basic goods and passing on some of those discretionary items like we've talked about: TVs, toys, furniture. That list goes on. Well, the earnings that we got out this morning confirmed all of that. Grocer giant Kroger shares moving to the upside today, up nearly 3% here in intraday trading. Well, the company beat on earnings. They issued a strong forecast despite some of these macro headwinds, and that outlook was driven in part by higher food prices, another theme that we're hearing about this earnings season. So what are people buying? Well, those higher prices, that has consumers hunting for deals. Demand for Kroger's private labels, including Simple Truth, Home Chef, those have certainly jumped. You can see a number of these private labels on the screen right here. More than half of Kroger's customers have shopped the Simple Truth brand, really showing how popular some of these private label, the cheaper options are in this environment. Well, on the earnings call, Kroger executives warning that while inflation is slowing in some categories like fresh goods, some grocery inflation, though, remains very stubborn. Now, on the flip side, so those results are pretty good. But on the flip side, we got results here from Best Buy and confirming that consumers are simply not spending nearly as much as they were during the pandemic on electronics, a totally different scenario than what we were looking at about 2 years ago. Now, the retailer's forecast signaling a drop here of 3 to 6%, a very tough year ahead because wallets are still getting squeezed. We talked to Pete Grom. He's an analyst at UBS earlier this week. He told Yahoo Finance that the clear losers of this earnings season are names like Newell, even the Yetis of the world, companies that saw that outsized growth during the pandemic. Now, digging into the numbers of Macy's, and I bring up Macy's because this is an interesting earnings results here to look at, because yes, they did beat. When you take a look at the headline numbers, it actually looks pretty decent, but they beat low expectations. Sales did drop. Not exactly a blowout quarter, maybe what you were thinking when you looked at the share reaction today. So total same store sales, a key metric here for the retailer, that fell 2.7% in the fourth quarter, hit by underperformance at its namesake brand. And we remember that Macy's did warn about their fourth quarter results back in January, and we initially saw that reflected in the shares then. Well, the takeaway here so far, Inez, is that consumer staples, the higher prices are helping margins. People are still buying those necessities, things like food, why Kroger has been able to hold up okay. On the flip side, though, they're passing on some of their clothing purchases, on electronics, other discretionary items to battle inflation. And that's why we certainly are seeing clear winners and losers this earnings season.
And we've seen that trend with consumers really having to spend on food and energy. Costco is coming out with their results. What are we looking for there?
So Costco is going to be an interesting one. Now, this was Yahoo Finance's Company of the Year because it has performed much better than maybe the broader market here, some of that outperformance. We will be watching three things here from Costco. First, slowing sales growth. That has certainly been a theme for Costco as of late. We'll see whether or not that trend continues. Also, membership growth and membership fees. Back in December, Brian Sazzi spoke with the CFO of Costco, asked him about membership fees. He said that the company was not ready to raise its fees just yet. Remember, it hasn't raised fees since 2017, but its rival Sam's Club actually did it this past fall. So we'll see whether or not Costco follows suit. And then also the pricing of products, that combo that everybody loves, so the hot dog and soda, it's only $1.50. It's been that case for quite some time. They said that they have no plans to raise that. We'll see whether or not that certainly still seems to be true in this result that we are getting after the bell today. And we will have you covered. We'll be breaking down those results, the comments from management after the earnings call wraps up tonight. Brad and I will be hosting after the call. We're excited about that.
And we'll be watching. Seana Smith, thanks so much.